KO Artist Sports, right here with the legendary Bernard Hopkins. Man, you guys always say it, you know, you put the best fights together, you want the best to fight the best, you're not afraid to put your guys against tough fights, and this is a clear sign of that, man. This is, you know, Oscar was saying a bunch of times, very well could be Fight of the Year right here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the fighters got one to fight, and other fights are happening, and it put pressure on everybody. I mean, not just you know, us saying it or being pressured, which nobody's actually telling everybody to do what we want to do. We just saying it's better in our best interest to do the best fights and let the best fight the best. On top of that, we get a blessing and what they call a business shot in the arm in boxing, Rihad season. I say assalamu alaikum. It helps the buzz, helps the energy, helps the sold out fight card, helps influence in a good way, helps any business. And boxing is excluded than not being excluded amongst when it comes that time of basketball, football, hockey, soccer now, and NASCAR. So, yeah, we got something great or potentially great until the outcome comes Saturday. But I like looking in the distance before you ask other questions to elaborate on this, which is something that has been contagious amongst other promoters. And as I said up on the podium so eloquently, when you get something that wasn't said back then, but working in the back scenes years, months and years to now, it sort of fits, it fits like a glove of maybe these fights financially within reason can get made. And guess what? I like to look in the distance and be bold and predict things before they happen, to be debated whether I'm a genius or I was just lucky. I let the fans and the people and the haters debate about that. It's part of entertainment and somewhat. And it's also part of being naive or just understanding that he know what the heck he's talking about. But I'll say to you that the fighters who really want to be educated in and out of the ring, which means the sweet science of being dare to be great, these are the chances and the opportunities you're realistically going to get. And steady the old way of saying you must jump over so many historic hurdles to get treated fairly by equity, where you belong in ratings, if the ratings matter in this situation, that could be debatable. And what are you rated in the world in your division when it's time to go up to somebody that has the same accolades that you have? These are the things that not only make star fighters or prime candidates for super fights, but you must get into a tournament of fighting the best, no matter where your house is at or where you sleep in that house. You must fight the best with the best to be able to clear out who's A side, who's B side, and who's C side. And if you know your ABCs, you can go all the way down the line. I must say, stop, set E.
You mentioned that Riyadh season is part of this card. You know, they put together the Crawford card. Turkish seems to be having an issue with Canelo. You know, he mentioned something about Canelo's taking easy fights after Bivol. Do you agree with that? Or
that, whether I agree with that or not, that's none of my business. Would Canelo believe that he's worth and what others believe he's not worth? Or Rihad season believe what they can offer and what they can't offer? It's none of my business. which my business is my business and Golden Boy Promotion and our fighters. That's all I'm concerned about.
He mentioned he wants to see Ortiz versus Crawford.
On the business side, that's all I need to know. On the business side, that's their problem. But on the business side, when it comes to Golden Boy and Golden Boy fighters of any status where they at, then I will be vocal on things that I can be vocal about. But with anybody else outside of Golden Boy believe that they are worth or not, it's none of my business to be involved and meddle in somebody else's business. I evolved over years. I understand that I don't need to inherit anybody else's problems, stress, or anything else that can derail me from the big picture. And the big picture is Golden Boy and our fighters and how they getting treated and what their true value is when we go up against the market for certain fights that need and should be made and will be made based on the energy of fairness in boxing.
You know, a Golden Boy fighter who's is suspended now. Ryan Garcia has to serve out his year suspension. You know, he went on like a Twitter rant and all that. Right.
He was serving.
Just what were your thoughts on, like, you know, kind of his rant and just kind of what he's kind of putting out there? You know, have you spoken to him?
Where is my concern about his rant? Like rant me like speaking and talking, and I don't look like it as a rant. I look at him as an expression. Words are important. They do expose who you are, what you think, and what you want the response to be, but it won't be the response that you're hoping for. We all got a job. You have one in journalism, correct? I have a job to respect another fighter, especially being a former fighter. I have the respect to see and understand when a fighter says something that he truly believes and willing to die for, which most of us not, I am, that makes us different. And the last time I read, every time I said something and went against the grain and proved I was right, I became or labeled as crazy, hard to get along with, stupid, won't do this and won't do that. And I say to those people, who's laughing now? I look through them, they look at me. They read my spirit without talking. It's called nonverbals. That is verbals when they know what they're looking at. And they fear what they see. They fear what they can't control, what they can't control. And so, because you can't control Ryan, whether we disagree or agree about what he thinks and what he says, social media or non, then we look at that as being strange and weird and freakish. I say let this country really stand what they say they are, unless we're hypocrites. You have the right to speak without defaming, which is a law, defaming or criticizing in a way where somebody will be financially and bodily harmed based on what you said. That is law. But to speak your opinion about an entity that has the right to get praised when they need to get praised, and of course they love it, and also to get scorned when you believe they need to be scorned. Whether it's me, Ryan Garcia, or any other fighter, these are the attributes that we have that most of us brag about, how great of a country we live in. See, a lot of times we put laws, but we forget to read them ourselves. Definitely act by them. So I salute Ryan for thinking and speaking and boldly speaking for everything that he believes that he needs to speak about. Whether I agree or disagree, there's another story. But then again, who cares if it's coming from him and he don't agree with that I might have said, or you might have said, or he might have said. But I would not be part of a circus, which for most of this to be cut out through an interview. I would not be part of the circus and the buffoonery of the journalism of getting something that sounds juicy and doing something just to make their website or their interview more spicy than their rivals next door. I would not play that game.
Thank you, Bernard. Appreciate you.